Okay.
Okay, so let's get started. So first off, thanks for everybody for coming. I was really surprised at the amount of people that we were able to kind of get to come. And so thank you for responding to your friends, and thank you for having open minds and ears. So first off, let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. First I'm going to introduce myself. Then we are going to talk about the health bank account and what it has to do with disease. And then we're going to talk about how to supplement the health bank account. In all, my talking should last about 30 minutes, including with some other people. And then there should be ample time for question and answer after. So let's start with who the heck am I and what am I doing here? So my name is Valerie Grave, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a licensed physician assistant. I practiced for about 6 years, and then I quit to stay at home with my kids. But I really wanted to tell you about kind of my health journey. When I was newly married, Mike and I accidentally got pregnant with our son, basically on our wedding night. Alicia's laughing, but it's true. And about 9 months after he was born, Mike and I decided that we wanted to have another child. And we went about 6 months without being successful in that. And I actually had a miscarriage in that process also. And so things that were going through my head at the time, as a PA, I knew 6 months in that was when you could go to the doctor and technically be considered infertile. But I also knew that since we already had a child, that there wasn't a whole heck of a lot that they would do for me. I knew that most of our problem was my stress level. I was working about 60 hours a week. Mike took care of dinners, and he picked up from daycare. He dropped off at daycare. As a PA, I just knew that it was my stress level. I had never lost the baby weight with Max. And even though we were eating super healthy, and I just knew that there was something wrong with my health. But I knew at the same time that there wasn't a whole heck of a lot that modern medicine could do for me. And so what I did do was I actually went on to the keto diet, which many of you know is really hard to stick to. And so on top of failing at not getting pregnant, failing at losing the baby weight, I was also failing at trying to do the keto diet. So I was really beating myself up. And then one of my good friends reached out to me. She had no idea, as many people wouldn't know, that we were trying to get pregnant, because who the heck tries to have another baby after 9 months of having one? But she reached out and said, hey, would you like to try these products? Just like you guys are hearing right now. And I was kind of like, well, no, I can't do that because I'm trying to get pregnant. And if any of you guys have ever tried any supplements that are on the market, many, many, many people shy away from pregnancy and nursing. And they really are just like, okay, well, that's unsafe or potentially unsafe. And so the fact that my friend didn't shy away from the fact that I was attempting to get pregnant was a big deal. I want to make sure that wasn't somebody trying to join the live. So she didn't shy away, and she actually said, well, I didn't know that, and I'm sorry that you're struggling with that, but a lot of these women who are taking these supplements are accidentally getting pregnant. And I thought, oh, sure, accidentally getting pregnant.
I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
Wow. What are we doing here?
And so because many of them had been infertile, and so they had dropped their birth control methods, and then they accidentally were getting pregnant. And I said, oh, well, I think the reason I'm not getting pregnant is because I can't lose the baby weight. So I started the keto diet. And she said, oh, well, a lot of the women are actually accidentally losing weight also as a side effect. And I said, all right, whatever the heck these are, like, let's try them. And I've been on them for about 2 years now, a month after starting the Core 4, which I'll go over. I was pregnant, and now we have our second baby, which is the little guy up there. So that's who I am, but I'm sure you're tired of hearing that. So let's talk about the health bank account. So a couple of pillars to talk about. The first off is that I personally believe that God made us perfect as we are, and he gave us literally everything that we need to heal our bodies. I also believe that our bodies are like a bank account. When we're born, when we're children, think of children, like they are super resilient, they heal super fast. Our bank account is just hugely full when we are children. And as we grow and get older, the bank account gets some withdrawals from it. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you can deposit back into the bank account with diet and nutrition. So a couple questions that I wanted to ask people is, what kind of fuel do you think that you put in your body? And then, do you believe that the person who farmed your food is making it the most nutrient dense, or do you believe that there is soil depletion? Now, most of my super healthy food comes from Mexico: raspberries, spinach, blueberries, and I don't personally believe that the Mexicans are really worried about the nutrition that goes into this food. I think that they're more worried about like crop counts and whatnot. And I know that there's a couple people who have farming backgrounds in here, and I'm pretty sure they could attest to the fact that it's more about the numbers than it is about the nutrition that's in the food. So the next thing I wanted to ask is, are we asking more of our bodies? Are we taking more large withdrawals than we are depositing? An example of large withdrawals would be like pregnancy, like for me, how I had a big health bank account and then I got pregnant and my health bank account was pretty depleted. Surgery, cancer can really rid your body of a lot of nutrients. Chronic stress and excessive working out are other examples of large withdrawals. So then if we think about a bank account, when our bank account gets low, we start to get warnings from the bank that, hey, you're going to overdraw your account. We good over there? Yeah. Okay. So some of the warning signs that we get when we start to overdraw our account are excess weight, pain, low energy, and moods. And a lot of times as a PA, I would hear people, they would come to the doctor and they would say, I have, this excess weight and I can't seem to lose it. And I would run a bunch of tests and I would say, well, essentially there's nothing wrong with you. And it's not that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you don't have a diagnosis yet. And so this warning sign area that many people find themselves in is right before you get a formal diagnosis. So some other things that you could put up here: depression and anxiety, infertility, frequent illness is one that I heard in the urgent care all the time. People would say, I get colds all the time. What the heck is up with that? Skin issues, bowel issues, or just inflammation overall. And it really goes to show that even if we aren't sick, that does not mean that we are healthy.
You mean? That was Casey's house.
So can we mute them? I think we can mute them as the host.
Here it is.
Muted us, not everybody else.
Yeah, you should be able to mute all. There you go.
Oh, here we go. Got it.
Did you get it? Yep. Okay, perfect. All right. So moving on. Where is this at? So when we ignore the warning signs, that's when we end up with a diagnosis. And some of us in here may have diagnoses and some may be in that warning sign area. But something that as a PA, I really took to heart was that when you get a diagnosis, then you get medicine, and medicine is expensive. These stats up here are, we can all read, but this one really sticks out to me, that the US accounts for 5% of the world's population, and it consumes 80% of prescription drugs. That is crazy. And that chronic disease, meaning low health bank accounts, is responsible for 7 in 10 deaths a year. And so it's just huge. So when we ignore the warning signs, we end up with a diagnosis. And when we have a diagnosis, we take medicine, and medicine is expensive. I wanted to stop and tell a story for a second. So I recently asked my parent-in-laws, if you will, how much they spend on prescription drugs. They're in their 60s. They have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. They're not on insulin. And they spend $50 a month on medication. And that's before they get into the end of the year. Right now, when their insurance, when they've met their maximum out of pocket, or whatever that is, maximum, and they have to pay more, actually. The donut hole, exactly. And so then they have to pay $250 a month. So I don't know, that adds up to a whole heck of a lot of money, though. More than I want to be paying when I am that age. Okay. So I did advance to this one. So you can either pay to be sick or you can invest to be well. And I wanted to take a second. I want you to ask yourselves these questions, but I wanted to stop and talk about Big Pharma for a second and give my legal disclaimer. So we're going to go on in the next slide to talk about the supplements that you guys are all waiting to hear about. But I have to say that these supplements don't treat, cure, or heal. And the reason that I have to say that is because when you go to the doctor, and when I practice medicine, what was kind of, I would say, shoved down my throat is what's called up-to-date medicine, or the other way to say it is, anyway, you'll go to the doctor and they'll say, studies say this, studies say that, studies say this. And that's practicing up-to-date medicine. And what that means is that whatever that we're, giving to you, whether it be a drug or, they'll do studies on what the proper suturing technique is, or, whether or not you treat an ear infection or you treat strep, and they do studies on all of this. And so that means that there's been a double-blinded placebo study on the drug, if not many others. And there's an inherent corruption in the double-blinded placebo study because they are so expensive, and because in a study you're looking at statistics at the end to see if it was statistically significant. And you can skew data to make your study statistically significant. And wouldn't you want to do that if you had spent a lot of money in your study? If your study ended up not being statistically significant, that would mean that your money went down the drain. And so there is an inherent corruption in the way the medical field is going. And that when I realized that was when I really decided that I had to get out of medicine, because there's no way that we're actually going to help people. There are a lot of good things about medicine, but there's a lot of bad things, and there's a lot of corruption, and it's just inherent in the way that the medicine field is going. So that's my okay. This is Pure is the name of the supplements. My dog is dying. She's tired of us. Pure is the supplements. This is Bucky Buckner. He's one of 4 doctors on the wellness committee, and he is going to talk about the Pure philosophy. Maybe. Oh. Go back. Is it playing? We did that better than Hillary.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bucky Buckner. I'm boarded in general surgery and wound care. I'm also on the Wellness Advisory Board at Pure. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our philosophy. The philosophy is really deeply held beliefs that really guide you in what you do. And we have a philosophy at Pure, and it's when balance build. It's truly at the heart of what makes us unique as a company. We adhere to this philosophy in all aspects of our business and our product line. And this has been the case from the very beginning. It's the driving force behind everything we do. leading our product development and resulting in products that are pure, effective, and potent, and that strictly avoid artificial additives, dyes, and ingredients. It allows us to deliver whole health to our customers and sets our product line apart from those of other companies. You know, we have dozens of products in here, but I'm going to focus on our core four now, really truly the pillars of our philosophy. The first of those is cleanse. We're constantly inundated with contaminants in our environment. They're in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. There's ample evidence that these cause disease. Cleanse assists with the body's elimination of these contaminants. Traditionally, we talk about 7 channels of elimination. Specifically, I think our chief organs for elimination are the liver and the GI tract. Cleanse helps in eliminating toxins from these 2 chief organs. Our next pillar is balance. We're so very out of balance as a society. We overwork, we overeat, we overstress, and we struggle with giving our body adequate rest and relaxation. Our most popular product, Goyan, we believe assists with keeping our body in balance. Our Goyan contains proprietary blend of superfruits, herbs, and other fruits that have been traditionally used to help bring the body into balance. This enhances overall well-being and is based on traditional Chinese medicine. It delivers a great source of vitamins B6 and B12. B6 is essential for our production of energy in the body, and B12 is necessary for building important cell structures in the body. In a preliminary study of 100 healthy, stressed individuals, Goyan improved overall feelings of vigor and well-being and decreased feelings of gloom, tension, and fatigue. Our third pillar of build is supported really by all of our products, but chiefly by our more than a multivitamin daily build. 8 proprietary blends and 23 essential vitamins and minerals support your immune system, your nervous system, your brain, cardiovascular health, bone health, and glucose metabolism. Powerful broad-spectrum antioxidant protection against damaging free radicals from the phyto fruit and phyto vegetable blends. It is made from natural ingredients. So now you're cleansed, you're in balance, you're building your nutrients. Now we need energy and focus. Energy is one of the most popular products. It's a great alternative to the high sugar, artificially enhanced energy drinks that you would find most places. This blend of natural ingredients may help stimulate alertness, enhance cognitive performance, ease fatigue, and promote wakefulness. It's high in B vitamins such as thiamine, riboflavin, B6, and B12. It's made with natural sources of caffeine. It has a proprietary blend of amino acids, mineral, herbs, and botanicals. It also has antioxidants with the vitamins A, C, E, and B complex. No artificial coloring or sweeteners, and no preservatives. This is your foundation to whole health for you, your family, and those you love. Thank you. God bless.
Okay, I think that should stop on its own. But what's going on? So cleanse, balance, and build, and I think that that's a huge pillar. That's where most people start, is with the 4 products called the core 4. But there's lots more products, if you can see up here. Pretty much any health need that you have, once you build up the core products, then you can focus on other things. Trouble sleeping is one that I really like to focus on, exercise, joints. So today I'm just going to go over a couple of products. And like I was telling the gals that are here, in other nights, I'm going to go into different product lines. So come back for more if you're curious and more, or feel free in the questions to ask about other products. Okay. I was going to let him talk again. This is for a different night though. That's a 12-minute video and we're not going to make it through that. Okay. So here is cleanse. Cleanse is something, and I'm just going to say, because Alicia's going to be like, why am I not on that? It's not safe for pregnant or nursing, but cleanse is so important. It really helps to get all of the toxins that we're in contact with every day. It has a really great price tag, in my opinion. And it's more than just your typical juice cleanse. It's really actually going to actively detoxify your body versus just with a juice cleanse, you're kind of putting your body at rest and letting it cleanse. Hopefully it does, type of thing. So cleanse will actively do that. Goyan is our #1 product. This is our kind of mood balancer, depression and anxiety. And if she's up for it, are you up for it?
Sure.
I'm going to let Alicia just tell her story.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Good.
Come on.
Okay.
So remember, you don't have to talk about the science or anything, just your
No.
own experience.
Okay. All right, I wish I could watch myself.
I know, it's kind of hard.
I'm way better. I need a mirror. You should play it on there. Okay. So go in. How many months ago? 4 months ago. Well, I have a 5-month-old baby boy. 4 months ago, I had mastitis. I was actually hospitalized because I was antibiotic resistant to it, like 3 different ones I tried. So they put me in the hospital. While I was there, I was getting an IV by one of my really good friends, actually, that's listening. And I like felt this panic go through my body, and I've never felt like that before. And I just thought, like, it's the IV, I'm nervous, settle down. So she got the IV in. I was just sitting there, and I was getting worse, and I was shaking, and I was like, I didn't know what it was, but I was having a panic attack. So I got better. I went home, thought it was just like a one-time thing. And then I kept having these same symptoms where I just couldn't calm myself down. I couldn't make myself feel okay, which was super crazy for me because, like, I used to think mental health was kind of a joke. Like, I'm going to be 100% honest. My friends would say they were depressed, and I would say, no, you're not. You just, like, need to be happy. Tell yourself to be happy. Like, do happy things. Well, that is not the case. God, thank you for pointing that out to me, that you cannot control that sometimes. So yeah, kept having panic attacks. I got mastitis again the second time, and it just got worse. My body was run down. So of course my mental health also took a huge plummet. In this time I was talking to Val, and she's like, I really want you to try this stuff. I really think it would help you. She's like, I don't even care if you pay me for it. I just want you to feel good. You're my friend. So I came over and I got it. And in the meantime, the first episode of mastitis, I got put on sertraline, which is an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety pill. And I take pride in I don't take medicine. My family doesn't take medicine. Like, taking medicine is a huge step for me. But I mean, I was laying in my bed. I couldn't take care of my kids. My mom was coming over to make me eat. She would lay the baby down. I would nurse him. She would take him. It was like rock bottom. So I was willing to try anything. So I tried medicine. And then after 4 weeks of medicine, Val introduced me to Goyen. So I started Goyen. And after like a week or so, I was like, this is weird. I think the medicine's kicking in. Like, I think it's working. And Val's like, I don't know if it's the medicine. What if it's the Goyen? So yeah, I have been taking it ever since. I've ran out a couple times for 2 days, and I really started to feel crappy again. I got off my medicine like a month ago. Val like helped me transition off, and I'm not telling you to stop taking meds because don't do that. But yeah, I am just me again, I'm going to say. I mean, I have rough days, but yeah, I say I need to make a t-shirt that says like, I get through with God and Goyen.
Yeah.
I really need to do that.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. So Alicia is by far definitely not the last person that I personally helped get off of antidepressants. And I'm not saying that antidepressants are bad, because I also have a lot of people who continue to take them and continue to take Goyen, and they just get a lot better results from their antidepressants. But if that's something that's weighing on your heart that you don't want to be on them, then by all means, Goyen is a great product. This is one that has been double-blinded, placebo studied against Prozac, and Pure funded the study, so we have to take it with a grain of salt, but Goyen did perform better than Prozac. So the next one we're going to talk about is Daily Build, and this is one that he said is more than a multivitamin. The things that are in Daily Build, I don't know if I said this yet, but I'm going to get my master in herbalism, and I have a goal of becoming a naturopath. And every time that I learn something cool, I'm like, oh, I should be taking this. A really great example is actually yesterday. I think it was yesterday, Catherine came to me and she's like, everybody should be taking turmeric. Turmeric really helps with mental health. Like literally it helps with joint pain. It helps with mental health. It helps with everything. And she was like, and did you know it's in Daily Build? And I was like, I did, but like, welcome to my life. Because every time I find out something that I'm like, I should really be taking this, most of the time I go to Daily Build or Go In and I'm like, turns out I am. So Daily Build is great. I think the price is, it scares people, but you can't put a price on your health. And soil depletion is real and it has everything that we need to be getting on a daily basis. So the last core 4 product is energy. And energy has, we call it clean caffeine. It's really going to give you the energy that you need either in the morning or the afternoon and not give you that crash afterwards. They taste great. This and Go In, if anybody wants a sample of them, people who are here today get a free one, but I will mail them to you. So if you would like a sample of energy or if you want a sample of Go In, I'm happy to send you samples. So let me know. Okay, getting away from the products that Becky talked about, I want to talk about sulfur next. Sulfur, I've talked to a couple people and they disagree with me, but sulfur is my #1 pure product. It's my favorite. It's what, if anybody comes to me and says, okay, I can only afford one product, what would it be? And that's sulfur. Sulfur is something that should be in our soil and it is in our cell wall, needed in our cell wall, helps with permeability of the cell. And pretty much all of us are deficient in it. It's why we get, it helps with arthritis, it helps with gut issues, it helps with mentation, pretty much anything. It's a very strong anti-inflammatory. And so that's why it's my #1. If you were to ask me what my #2 is, that would be Daily Build. Okay. The superfruits, I'm just going to very briefly go over, but this is something that I'm going to take a deep dive in on a different night. But the superfruits are the fruit that you see on the bottle, 100%, nothing else. So a lot of times, like the other day I was in Costco and I saw some acai juice and I was kind of a freak about it. My kids were like ready to go, tired of being in the store. And I was like, hold on a second. And I went and looked at the acai nutrition facts and the #1 ingredient in it was apple juice. And that's not going to happen with ours. This is truly the whole berry, the pulp and everything ground up and made into a juice. That's the whole goji, that's the whole mangosteen, and that's the whole noni. And if you're more curious about those, tune in a different night or ask me questions. I am also not going to talk a ton about the GPS line, but this is the sports line that Pure has. And it is Informed Sports Certified, which is it's a big deal. It means that what is on the bottle is in the tub and what's in the tub is on the bottle. Recently, one of the big sports lines out there had a big deal because one of the Olympic athletes was taking it and they tested positive for a foreign substance. And the athlete said, well, I'm on these products and they should be fine, but there was something in the product that was not on the label, and you're just not going to get that with Pure. Once again, I'm going to go over those products individually on a different night. So now we're going to get into how to purchase the products. This is the big pack. This is the Be Fulfilled pack. This one is what everybody says that they wish they had ordered on the first night because you get such a big discount on everything. But most people don't order this. I wish I had ordered it on the first night. It's what I order now. This lasts Mike and I about 3 months. And so I calculated the daily tab, if you will, to $21 a day. You can see what it's all got in there. But the price for it, I'm going to be upfront, is $1,900. But it's got literally everything you could need for a full overhaul of health. The next one is the Be Healthy Pack. That is the 1 month, 1 person overhaul. So you can see that the price per day went up a little bit. This is $700. And it again has everything that you could possibly need for a complete overhaul of health. Core Plus. Okay, that's where I wanted to be. Core Plus is where I think everybody should start. Everybody should start with Core Plus. It's got your Govian, your daily build, your sulfur, which is not in the Core 4, your energy, and then it's got calcium K plus, which is your nighttime multivitamin. When you take your daily build, either in the morning or afternoon, it's very hard for your body to fully absorb everything that's in that daily build. Your body gets better at doing it as you go along. Alicia can probably attest to that. But the calcium K plus comes in at night and has more of those multivitamins. It also has magnesium to help you sleep, and everything that your body needs to make melatonin is in calcium K plus. It also has Mila, which is ground up chia seeds, and you might be saying like, okay, I can get those at the store, but the difference from the store chia seeds and these chia seeds is the difference between like Folgers, which is what you would find in the chia seeds at the store, and Mila is like organic shade grown coffee. You just get much more nutrients and much more out of your chia seeds. And lastly is what I sadly started on, the Core 4. It's got your Govian, your daily build, and this is a month's worth at $5 a day. So I'm gonna wrap up by saying, if you are serious about your health, $5 a day, could you drop your daily latte? How much do you spend on your technology? How much did you spend on your vehicle? And your health can either be an investment or an expense. I'm not going to play this video because it's long, but this goes into Pure and why it's called Pure. It truly has no fillers. It doesn't have any GMOs. It doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. Quick story. Do I have time for a quick story? I think so. So I went to, there's a store in town that sells Herbalife, and I really liked them. And I was like, it's convenient to go and get not fast food. And I'll be fully upfront with it. And I was there last time and they had a special running, and I was watching them make my shake, and they were putting, so that the shake looked cool, Food Diet in the bottom of the cup with a little bit of water. And I will never go back there again, because are you kidding me? You're never going to find anything like that in Pure. You're just not going to find any artificial colors, dyes, perfumes, sweeteners, nothing artificial. So I looked into Herbalife a little bit, and there is a lot of artificial in it. So last slide is questions. So do you want to unmute everybody? Are there any questions that came through while I was talking?
I can't see that.
No, it doesn't look like there was any that came through.
Catherine, I didn't get to let you tell your story about sulfur. I'm so sorry. Do you want to tell your story now?
Yeah, so I introduced myself to, I'm Catherine. I'm a PA as well, practicing at urgent care and wound care, but I'm also a full-time mom with 3 littles. But short but sweet little story of me. So I was kind of introduced to this entirely different way of thinking about my health with my midwife that I had during my last pregnancy. And she, with all my ailments of pregnancy, was just like, you know, you could take X, Y, and Z herbs for this. And I kind of looked at her. I was like, you are the first practitioner to ever think outside the box and actually offer me that. And so anyway, along that line, that kind of opened my eyes to, wow, there are other ways other than taking Zofran and all the other things, you know, of treating all the ailments of pregnancy. And she was very adamant about, you know, talking to me about gut health and about my microbiome and all these other things that I never learned in PA school. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And then in postpartum time, I kind of had a bunch of other issues that came up, a lot of gut health issues, a lot of recurrent women's stuff. I'll just leave it there. And I didn't feel very good. And then so funny, I ran into my friend Val here over a Facebook group for PAs in Boise, sure enough. And I just developed a relationship with her, and turns out she was like, I kind of left medicine for similar reasons that, and I was like, wow. And so that was kind of the start of my journey. And as I kept talking with her, and another PA I met had the same kind of like eye-opening experience of, there's other options out there, that people are getting better. And if you look around us, everyone's getting sicker. We're not doing a very good job as PAs, and we're just making everyone sicker. And I was like, gosh, that's so true. And so that's all that. And then, came down the line, and I was still just struggling with weights. I was struggling with my mood. I was struggling with energy. I was super stressed. And I had 3 kids, but I couldn't get back to my postpartum or my pre-pregnancy weight. And I had face stuff, inflammation. I just was an inflamed hot mess. Oh my word. And so that was like, take some sulfur. And I was like, okay, I'll take the sulfur. And guess what? Oh my gosh, sulfur changed my life. No joke. And so that was my kind of my journey, the start of my journey of feeling better. And now I look back and I'm just so thankful. And now I represent this business, and I just think it's so it just has changed my life. And like, I've lost weight, I feel better, my face is so less inflamed, my body's less inflamed, my gut health is restored. Like, it's awesome. So there you go.
Catherine was very much so, I can't afford anything. Like, I can't afford anything. Nothing. I can't afford one thing. And I was like, okay, but sulfur is really not that expensive.
So true. So, yeah.
Can Pure be used on Whole30? Is one of your questions.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I love Whole30. Yes, everything that you're going to find in Pure is totally found in Whole30. Everything's gluten-free, dairy-free. Our calcium that I talked about is one of the only dairy-free calciums that I know of.
Dairy-free calcium.
Yeah, dairy-free calcium. I can't think of anything that has gluten or dairy in it, because that's the big thing with Whole30 is gluten and dairy, among other things. But yes, you're going to find, they call it whole health. And the reason for that is because they really are. One of the 12-minute videos that I didn't show talked about how they get their supplements and where they make them from. And it's always whole ingredients. It's never synthetic vitamins or anything like that. So
I am totally interested in products to help my infertility as well, if you wanted.
Okay.
Advice.
So other products for infertility, one of the superfruit juices that I kind of went over really quickly, Goji, is one of the main ones to help infertility. The other thing is just really getting the stress down. And so the de-stress protocol is typically Goyin, calcium K+, and serene, which I didn't talk about. But serene is an adaptogenic herb, which actually blunts the cortisol effects in the body. And for me and for many other people, other women, I should say, in these groups, we joke about like libido after serene and how, so the joke that I always say, actually just recently I ran out of serene and I thought, well, I don't really need that anymore. I don't have that stressful of a life. And my husband came and said, so I don't see any serene downstairs on the shelf. And I said, oh yeah, I ran out. He's like, are you going to get any more? And I was like, well, why? Because I'd like it if you could get some more serene. Like, have I been being stressed? And he's like, yeah. So serene is really good for stress, but it's really good therefore for fertility, especially if, one thing as a medical practitioner, we always talk about, and I think probably misjudge about people, is the frequency of intercourse is important when you're infertile. And it really helps with that. So I'll just leave it at that.
Does sulfur come out in negative ways, like rotten egg smells, gas?
Oh, no. So sulfur, the other thing I should talk about with sulfur is it's not sulfa, because I get questions about that a lot of times. Like, I'm allergic to sulfa drugs, and they're not the same in any way, shape, or form. But no, sulfur, the negative effects of sulfur are detoxing effects. And that's just because we're changing the permeability of the cell in a good way, which is letting the junk come out. And that will sometimes result in headaches and diarrhea. If you start at a low enough dose, though, most people don't notice it. And that's the only side effect that I can think of sulfur.
That's all.
That's all the questions.
Yep, we
do.
Can I take sulfur when I'm nursing?
Yes, sulfur is fine for nursing. The only products that really are not safe are anything cleansing or specifically detoxing, not building.
How does pure compare to standard process?
What do you mean by standard process?
I'll let you know when she answers. Is Jennifer on the
Mm-hmm.
Back to us. Back to us. That.
Okay. I don't know what you mean by standard process.
The supplement.
Oh, is that green?
I think so.
Oh, is that I don't know the brand. You can unmute yourself too, and I can hear you. Standard process. Where's my phone at?
Right behind you. On the.
I've never even heard of it. I've heard of most of the big ones too.
Hey,
Catherine, have you heard of that one? Yes.
Sorry, I'm driving.
That's
Anyway, yeah, so standard process is it has to be prescribed by a doctor. It doesn't have to be prescribed, but it has to be administered by someone who's certified to administer it. So it's given out by a lot of like holistic doctors' offices and dental offices. And anyway, that's kind of the big one I've heard about.
I've not even heard about. I'm on their website right now though. I don't know. I would have to really look into it.
I guess one of the big things would be that you have to get the okay from a physician.
Right.
So that's a cost. Yeah. And
yeah.
I'll look into it for you, Jennifer. I'll get back with you, and I'll be a nerd about it and look way into it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to be a nerd about it too, Catherine. Are there other questions?
Nope. Nope.
Well, and we can wrap up early if there are no more questions, truly. I just want to make sure that everybody got their questions answered. So in wrapping up, whoever invited you here, that would be who I want you to follow up with. If you have questions that they can't answer, they of course can ask me. Or you can message me directly, that's fine too, but I want to give credit where credit is due. So do follow up with whoever invited you here tonight. And then this replay, I think it takes 24 hours for it to upload on Zoom. So I will get it uploaded as soon as I can. And then I believe we will schedule, if everybody wants to do it again in 2 weeks, which is the 12th, Thursday, the 12th of November.
Yeah, and what were we gonna, like we can also kind of take, does anyone have a specific topic that they want us to cover also?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to let questions roll in and see what the main questions were. And then if there weren't a ton, I was gonna go into the superfruits next week and probably the GPS line if we've got time. Thoughts on that, Catherine? Sounds great. Yeah. Did you have any closing comments, Catherine?
I just encourage everyone to pick our brains too. We are licensed PAs and we have taken up to these supplements on how to quote treat, although we cannot say treats, but how to manage these diseases that people have. And we're just a whole new way of thinking of, rather than going to the doctor and get a prescription medication that have a host or a list of side effects. You know, maybe let's rethink your health and think, what do we have in nature that's already here that can help us in that way and support our
Did
body,
God give us
heal our
the
body.
pluck out of the ground?
Yeah, if you're struggling with anything in particular, don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask what can Pure offer in this area.
Yeah. One thing I did forget to mention is that Pure as a company wide has a reorder rate of 93%. And so to me, that means that 93% of people are happy with their products. And so that's after their first order, they reorder 93% of the time. So that's like 4.5 stars at least on Amazon. So that's pretty good. Did any more questions roll in? Nope. Okay, then let's be done. Thank you everybody for coming. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Val.
And
yep,
we're gonna have to like save. I don't want my stuff.
And